Hi guys, let's prepare these delicious beans and plantain. As you can see on the screen, there are varieties of beans and plantain, different types, but today we are preparing beans and plantain porridge. This beans and plantain porridge is made with black-eyed beans and ripe plantain. Now there are varieties of beans. As you can see on the screen, this beans is not the type you need. You need this particular one, black-eyed beans, and you need plantain. And for plantain, there are unripe plantain and ripe one, but you'll be needing the ripe plantain. These are different types of ripe plantain you can use. Some of them are so ripe, while some are just ripe a bit. You can use any of the ripe plantain you can see on the screen. And for this recipe, you will really enjoy it. This delicious meal is so healthy and nutritious. Now let's get started into the video. So the first step is to pick your beans or clean it and make sure there are no stones or dirt. Next, you soak it in hot water for 15 minutes or you parboil it for 15 minutes. It's the same thing, either you soak it or you parboil it, and afterwards this is what it should look like, and it will be clean as well and no dirt. And for the plantain, this is exactly the plantain I'll be using. This particular plantain is ripe, and as you can see from the look, it's really ripe. And after cleaning the plantain, the next thing is to cut it to this shape. You can cut it in a circular form or the cube shape, like 4 corners shape. And guys, you need to also wash your beans really well, even after parboiling it or after soaking it. Wash it to make sure it's really clean. Then you add it in the pot and add it very clean water and start your cooking. Now you place it on fire and make sure you're cooking with high heat, because this is beans and it needs heat to cook. And for the plantains, as you can see, I cut some for frying and some for the beans. Well, this is the crayfish I'll be using. This crayfish is just clean already, and I'm also using fresh peppers. After the beans has cooked for a while, I added palm oil into the pot, as you can see, and then I added onion and fresh pepper. I chopped it to be really rough. I added crayfish powder. I grounded the crayfish and added the powder. I just added little of the crayfish for now. I'll add the rest later. And I added Maggi cube. Note guys, you have to add Maggi cube depending on the quantity of beans you're cooking. I added salt, just teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of salt, and then I added the Maggi cube. This Maggi cube is just the normal Maggi size, which is small, so you can use 2 of that small one. But if you're using no cube, which is like 2 in 1, you should be able to use just 1. Or else you're using a very large quantity, or you're cooking a very large quantity of beans, then you can add more Maggi cube. Then you mix well, mix properly, make sure everything combined together. As you can see, I added fresh pepper, but you can as well add the normal powder pepper. Then allow it to cook for a couple of minutes till it's really soft. Then I added this grounded mixed veggies. This is combination of different types of veggies, dried ones. I use it in cooking and I love it. And at this stage, after a while, I added the plantains. As the beans is already soft, I added the plantain and mix it really well, because I wanted it to cook together with the beans at this stage before the liquid dries up. I want my plantain to cook really well, not to be raw in the pan. I want it to cook, so I mixed it really well and added little water at this stage because I really wanted it to cook for a few minutes. So I added just little quantity of water and allowed it to cook. After some minutes, as you can see, it's already boiling up and this plantain is already cooking. But guys, I want this to really be like porridge. That's why I added this quantity of water. If you don't like porridge, you can skip that part. I allowed it to cook while I set this pan on fire and fried my remaining plantain, because I also love eating my beans with plantain regardless. Even though I'm cooking it with plantain, I still want to fry plantain. Then I added the remaining crayfish I grounded earlier. Recall I told you I added just half of it. So at this stage, when the beans is almost done, I added the remaining crayfish. I love doing this at the end of my cooking because it adds extra delicious taste and everything good to my food. So you can also try this if you're not already doing it. Then I mix really well, combine together, make sure everything marry well. And after that, I covered it and allowed it to cook for another few minutes. I added spinach. This is vegetable. This spinach is the only one available. You know, spinach doesn't really have any taste, so it's good for this recipe. If you have other vegetable, maybe if you're in Nigeria and you have ugu leaf or other type of leaf, you can add it. But if you're not in Nigeria, you know, if you're in Europe, you can of course use spinach because that's the only vegetable that you can find that's similar to ugu. I just added 4 of it because it's in cube shape. I added just 4 little cubes of the veggies and allowed it to melt into the pan while I continued frying my plantain. After a few minutes, of course, my beans should be ready and the veggies must have already, you know, blended really well with the beans. And this is porridge. So most times I usually use my spoon to mix the beans really well and break most of them to, you know, be really soft. You can also try this. It makes the yummy taste also blend really well and all the ingredients mix thoroughly, and also it makes the beans more soft. After a few minutes, it's already soft. The plantain is well cooked, the beans is well cooked, everything is really well cooked, and at this point it's just to dish it out and eat because this is just all it takes. You don't need to do too much. You can add more veggies if you want, but I just added just little. So I dished it out. If you're eating beans at any point, you can add other side dish to it. But this particular beans and plantain is so filling that you don't even need any side dish. It's just going to, you know, be enough for you. So I just cooked out the quantity I wanted, and after that I added my fried plantains to the side. And another thing I want to say, guys, most times if you really want to prepare your beans with fried plantain, make sure to use your ripe one. You know, even the frying method, make sure to use the ripe plantain. I posted a different recipe on my channel some days back, and this is another recipe. You can try either of them and it will still be really delicious. I've tried cooking beans in so many ways, and each time I repeat each of them because they're really lovely and so delicious. So you can just give it a try if you haven't already done this. You can just give it a try and you definitely love it. And don't forget, guys, to subscribe to my channel if you are new, and if you are really a subscriber already, thank you so much for joining me here. And if you're on my Facebook page, you're also welcome. Just do well to follow as well and like my videos. I usually post the full recipes on my YouTube channel and on my new Facebook page. So anywhere you're watching from, thank you so much. And I post my short reels on Instagram as well. I post on my TikTok page, my Facebook page, my Instagram page, and on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. See you on my next one. Bye bye.
Subscribe.